NXP certainly has a tough job ahead convincing investors it has a strong future as an independent company. Qualcomm CEO Steve Mollenkopf said today, we didn't see an end to the process or near end to the process, so we had to move on. There were probably bigger forces at play here than just us. We are still big fans of the deal, and the logic behind it. So, Isaac, he's certainly there implying that the trade tensions between the U.S. and China had something to do with this. Chinese regulators, as far as Bloomberg has been reporting, were on track to approve this deal, but did not. You know, they didn't say no either. What should we read into it?
The CEO did say, I think roughly a week ago in the New York Times, that, yeah, I think trade tensions have something to do with this deal being held up. And I got to say, this is a very classic Beijing strategy. They didn't deny the deal. They didn't block it. No official statement saying that this deal is not going to go forward. They just let the deadline expire. I guess we're, 6 hours away, 6.5 hours away from the deadline. And they just said, okay, we're just going to let this one go. And it gives them plausible, or somewhat plausible deniability when they're having this conversation. They could say, oh yeah, we didn't have enough information from Qualcomm, we didn't have this, we didn't have that. This is not part of the trade tensions. And if they do make that point with the US side, it allows them to say, listen, we're blameless on this, you guys have to make other concessions.
Romaine, how big a shadow does this cast over potential deals in the chip industry? This after, President Trump essentially blocked that acquisition of Qualcomm by Broadcom.
Yeah, I mean, there's a pretty clear message, I think, coming out of the administration here that really any sort of mergers, particularly cross-border mergers, are going to be scrutinized not in the context of whether it's good business, but really in the context of the trade war and whether it's good politics. You saw some of the comments from Qualcomm today sort of alluding to that, and for the reason that they wanted to walk away. I think it's going to give a lot of companies pause going forward, because you're not really navigating sort of antitrust issues and some of the more traditional issues you would have to deal with regulators. This is really about how does your merger fit into sort of the new policy initiatives by the United States government, and does it conflict with what they're trying to do and exerting their influence over their trading partners.
Now, the blocking of that Broadcom-Qualcomm deal is something that Qualcomm wanted, but Isaac has, President Trump inadvertently hurt an American company, Qualcomm, as a result of this quote-unquote America First strategy.
It certainly wouldn't be the first time. I think there's a lot of frustration among American companies about the way that trade tensions are going and about tariffs on Chinese goods. It slows down their business and makes it harder for them to deliver products to their consumers. And American companies do not have the same obsession with the trade imbalance that Trump does. Trump, Navarro, other people at the top of his administration feel really strongly about rectifying a trade imbalance, but most of the serious economists out there and business people out there don't feel that that's the problem in terms of doing business with China. They're a lot more interested in intellectual property issues and market access issues. They don't really care about the trade imbalance.